going on, guys? Jesse504 here, bringing you Flapple Draft League Season 2 Power Rankings. This league is Isle of Armor DLC, Isle of Armor decks plus Galar decks. All the teams very close together, really hard to rank, yada yada yada. Let's get into it. Number 12, Portland Lops. This team, I'm just kind of all around the board sort of underwhelmed. Zero Aura, possibly one of the most underwhelming tier 1s. You think it's going to be really good because it's really fast, but its offensive stats leave a lot to be desired. Pretty much has to set up every week or just run a bunch of coverage moves every week. Cobalion, another one of those somewhat underwhelming mons, can do a lot of just very basic stuff, like can set hazards on the lead, it can try to set up and sweep, it can be like just volt switch for momentum, but kind of it's okay in tier 2. Umbreon, Tentacruel are a nice defensive backbone, and Comfey and Druddigon sort of build off of that. That's like kind of a real value section of the team. Dusknoir, it's gotten better with Poltergeist. Going from base 60 to base 110 on the stab move is really nice. Sylvala is going to be forced to do a lot because the cores are just incomplete on this team. Like, maybe you want to run like Sylvala Fire, maybe you want to run Sylvala, like just some very necessary types are missing, if you sort of understand me. Tauros and Lopunny don't really do anything to fix that. Tauros can hit hard, I guess, but and it's quick, decent move pool, but not very bulky and can just die to anything that outspeeds it, pretty much. Lop, not doing anything, it's bad. I get that you got like the mascot pick or whatever, but maybe like a more value tier 5 that helped round out the types could have been a little bit better. And then Lycanroc Dusk, this thing is amazing now with DLC moves, but again, sort of similar to Zero Aura, it kind of has a little bit of 4 move slot syndrome. Up next, 11, Hawaii Hatterenes. This team is at least more well-rounded, I'll give them that, but Kyurem, tier 1, fine. I've seen it tier 2 in some places, which, like, to me signals not quite the strongest of tier 1s, but it's still pretty good. Kyurem plus Sylveon's a great combo. Very bulky, hard to get through, especially offensive, and Durant rounding out that core. While unconventional, I think that Durant is still it's really strong, actually, and it's actually surprisingly fast. But that pretty much speed timer being like within 1 point of Virizion isn't always the greatest, having Pokemon really close together in speeds. Yeah. Quillfish, great Intimidate pairing with Arcanine, meaning that, yeah, just physical attackers are kind of dismayed by that. Special attackers kind of get stopped by Sylveon. And Palisand as well as just a great wall with Shore Up as its ability, or not as its ability, with Shore Up as its signature move, can heal itself really nicely. Got access to Scorching Sands to burn things, which is always really nice. Zweilous better be clicking some outrages. I think it has the second strongest outrage in the game, only beat out by Flapple. Because of that ridiculous hustle ability, even though now you have a chance to miss moves, which is kind of unfortunate, but you gotta respect the hustle. Rotom Wash, great bulky backbone for the team, only weak to grass, which, I mean, it's fine. Kyurem can kind of switch in on those. Durant can switch in on those grass moves with their physical. It doesn't really have the greatest spit F, but I guess it can still do it. Indeedee, I'm not sure if it's Indeedee male or Indeedee female or Indeedee both, but getting access to Expanding Force and Indeedee male is one of like the most underrated Scarfers to come out of this generation, I feel. Along with expanding force in psychic terrain, a lot of things are going to be hit really hard by that. Arcanon, like I said earlier, with Quillfish, great Intimidate backbone, really sort of shutting down a lot of physical attackers. And Emolga, it's a fast electric, kind of does what it's advertised to do, not too much more. Number 10, Cleveland Escavaliers. This team has Rapid Strike Urshifu, which is good. Not as good as the other Urshifu, but I guess the problem with this team is kind of just the type diversity as we go through Urshifu, Mandibuzz, Blissey, Chandelure, Rhyperior, Vileplume, Ninjask, Tangros, Slowbro, Vikavolt, and Quagsire. There's 3 water types there in the Urshifu, the Slowbro, and the Quagsire. I'm not really sure how much like a Quagsire would be needed. Urshifu and Slowbro are different enough, and Slowbro is also the best Urshifu counter, so you don't even have to worry about it anymore. Team likes webs, especially Chandelure and Urshifu really enjoy webs, but the team is just really slow. I don't think anything breaks base 100 other than Ninjask, and like Ninjask isn't going to be patching your entire speed problems, even though it is fast as fuck. Nice bulky backbone with Mandibuzz, Blissey, Tangros, Slowbro. But then Quagsire is here, not really needed. It already got a ground type in Rhyperior, already got a water type in Urshifu or Slowbro. Vileplume, not really needed. Maybe like a Weezing could have been better here. I'm not sure if Weezing was taken or not, but if it was like Weezing here would be amazing. Just as a nice physical wall. Plays really well with Blissey. Because then you have like Blissey and Tangra, or Blissey walling special, Slowbro can wall special, and then Mandibuzz, Tangras go physical, something like that. And then like you kind of just have a really bulky team with Urshifu able to clean up at the end, but or Chandelure being able to clean up at the end. But in my opinion, I feel like the balance, it's a little too bulky for my taste, like a little bit too stally, but it can still put in some work. Number 9, Ascended Aipoms. So there, the Weezing did get picked, but I'm not sure like if it went after the Vileplume or before. But Excadrill's obviously just a great mon, even without sand, even though it does love sand. Kind of wishes it had some, but manual Sandstorm isn't the worst thing. It's pretty bad, but it's not the worst. Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock's also really nice. Swords Dance, Iron Head, or EQ Stab, Rocks Rock Move if it needs it. But Escadrill, you kind of get what you pay for, and you get it really nicely. Hatterene could go Trick Room, and this team I really like dual Trick Room setters. Hatterene, Porygon 2, and Porygon 2 has that added benefit of being able to teleport out. Into possibly the best Trick Room sweeper, Alolan Marowak, or Hatterene is also another great Trick Room sweeper, but they both can put in work in Trick Room. Alolan Marowak obviously loves that Poltergeist. Shadow Bone works too if you plan on running a lot of knockoff, but obviously Poltergeist, massive base power increase, which is always helpful. Up next is the Noivern, which, I mean, it's Noivern. It's always going to be pretty good. You get what you pay for. Tier 4, I really like Noivern here. Gives a nice ground immune for Excadrill and Marowak. And Weezing if that thing wants to run the gas, but if not, just a second ground immunity is also really nice. Maractus in Tier 5 can just soak up a bunch of water. Storm Drain or Water Absorb, depending on if you want healing or special attack raises. And it can also be ridiculously specially defensive. I've seen a Maractus check a Dragapult that was running special that week, and it did it pretty well. Conkeldurr, really nice mon. Hits hard physically with nice physical move pool, can defog if it wants, can run like Guts, or can run like Iron Fist or Sheer Force if it wants with the Solvest. Those are like 2 great sets for Conkeldurr, but it can obviously do so much more. Crawdon is a mon that I've just felt perpetually underwhelmed by, but if you can get it to work, then it's great. Vanillux. This team likes Veil, gives extra bulk on the turns where it's trying to set Trick Room and capitalize with the Trick Room. And then Munchlax. I've seen it work. It's not the greatest. But in Trick Room, I guess, maybe it can have some fun. Number 8. This team, kind of weird. Hydreigon, Toxtricity, Slurpuff, Ninetales, Piloswine, Licky, Clefairy, Jellicent, Heracross, Bronzong, and Serena. They went the route of grabbing a bunch of average Freemons instead of grabbing anything that's like a standout. Again, this team isn't very fast, which is kind of unfortunate. Fastest thing is the Ninetales. The webs from Slurpuff could help out. But, yeah, Hydreigon might be forced to running Scarf or an unconventional Dragon Dance set a little more often than it wanted to. And then Toxtricity might be forced into running Shift Gear a little more than it wants to. Granted, I think Shift Gear is probably Toxtricity's strongest set. But still, you want to be able to potentially just like be a Specs Toxtricity, click moves, and win. That you can't really do because the team's just a little too slow. What else? Serena's great for Rapid Spin. Yeah, and then excellent spin blocker in Jellicent. Really nice. Bronzong can play to it can be great support for any team, really. I really like it. And then Clefairy as well can be decent support. Obviously, it's not the strongest mon, but it can do something sometimes. Yeah, that's kind of the team. Up next, number 7, Philadelphia Falinks. Skarmory, Milotic, Roserade, Gallade, Sandslash, Pincurchin, Sudowoodo, Volcarona, Mimikyu, Sneasel, and Unpheasant. I'm just going to say right now, Volcarona carries this team really hard. I feel like this thing, it has the potential, I feel, to be the league kill leader because Skarmory can set it up really nicely with Hazard, same with Pincurchin, and then Volcarona can kind of just go in. Yeah, it hits incredibly hard after a Quiver Dance or two, and this team doesn't really have any other amazing cleaner like that, so I feel like Volcarona has the potential to be just like this team like is going to funnel kills into the Volcarona, and the Volcarona is just going to enjoy one of its most successful seasons in Draft League. Obviously Mimikyu can kind of do the same thing, which is also really nice, but I guess this team, the hazard removal isn't the greatest. I don't really know how often it can come. Is unfortunate when you have a Volcarona. Sometimes you don't want to run Boots, though having Boots means that if you want to run it, you can, and it's really nice. But yeah, that's this team. Number 6, Gettysburg Gengars. Keldeo, Mamoswine, Duraludon, Ribombee, Skuntank, Sigilyph, Drakloak, Ferrothorn, Rotom Heat, Hitmontop, and Dottler. Keldeo really likes Flip Turn now. Before, it didn't really have like too many moves if it wanted to run like a choice set, but so it could run Calm Mind well, but now on a choice set you have Flip Turn, Fighting Stab, Water Stab, and then maybe you want the secondary fighting to be able to hit like with Secret Sword and Aura Sphere, or maybe you want like Icy Wind for support, maybe you want Air Slash, but Keldeo is kind of freed up. Mamoswine, overrated, but still pretty good. Duraludon in Tier 3, I find as a nice value pick. While its special defense isn't that great, that's kind of the only thing really holding it back. Ribombee in Tier 3, I feel like is a bit of an overpay, though it is probably the best web setter in the game right now. But then you also have Dottler, which I feel like just isn't needed. You could pick something else up and just like help you out a little more. Skuntank, you can defog, it can sort of just do, it can do a lot of things, just not anything very well. Sigilyph, alright, Mon, I guess. people who know how to use Sigilift can really get a lot out of it with like Tinted Lens just hitting incredibly hard. Drakloak can just, it's fast, kind of sucks balls, doesn't really do a lot of damage at all. Ferrothorn Rotom Heat is a really nice backbone core. As Ferrothorn here, it has Rotom Heat to switch into the fire moves, and then Ferrothorn can switch into the water and rock moves that kind of scare Rotom Heat the most. Hitmontop, great spinner. In case Rotom Heat's not running boots, if it wanted to run like Scarf, like Nasty Plot Offensive potentially. Not having boots means that it can't quite, it'll get worn down, but Hitmontop can kind of stop that. And then Dottler, like I mentioned before, there's already a web setter, so it doesn't matter too much. Number 5, we got the Ancient Absols. Mew, best mon in the format, or one of the best if the coach knows how to use it well. Grimmsnarl, great support, but I really like Grimmsnarl in draft leagues. On the ladder, it's kind of underwhelming because you kind of have to guess and you don't get to run its best set against the team. You're often just running screen support. But if Grimmsnarl's best set is screen support, great. If not, if you're playing against someone who screen support doesn't work, maybe try out just like offensive Grimmsnarl. And if you really want to get adventurous, special Grimmsnarl can even work with Nasty Plot. But bulk up physical can work, and then you're taking less damage from physical hits because of Prankster. It's also really cool. Mudsdale in tier 3 I feel like is a bit of an overpay, but still can do a lot. Talonflame I've been laddering with a little bit. Really likes dual wing beat to not lose its Gale Wings. One of the greatest revenge killers right now, Talonflame. Toxicroak and Ludicolo. Ludicolo obviously really likes rain, but it can set it for itself if it needs to. But Toxicroak, fighting type, a lot of coverage, can do a lot of different things. Obviously, it used to be a little better, but still good. Beartick, like, the bottom tiers on this team, they're like, yeah, we want rain, but there isn't like a rain setter that can, like, there isn't like a Pelipper or a Politoed, so there's just gonna have to be some manual rain. But what do you got for a well-played Beartick? Como, no playing Gristle, if I remember correctly. Though it can still put in a lot of work. Maybe like sub Belly Drum Slack can clean teams. If not, just Hazard's Toxic Body Press set can work really nicely. It's very versatile and still slept on even without Clangristle. I really like it. Dusclops, really bulky, really hard to break. That's really just about it with Dusclops. Magnezone can trap steals, but without hidden power, it's not the greatest. Only really trapping Skarmory and Corviknight. So I mean that's nice. And then Kangaskhan is really nice. For even without its Mega, it can still just put in a ton of work. Number 4, Dragapult team. At number 4, Dragapult Incineroar is a really nice core. Incineroar or Mandibuzz are probably the best switches to Dragapult. So having one on your team means that there's only like one of the best switches to Dragapult, I guess, still out there. Clefable here too to heal up the team with wishes is really nice because if Incineroar is not running boots for some reason, Clefable can still wish it back up. Dragapult enjoys wishes potentially if it wanted to run like a sort of offensive set and then it ends up finding itself worn down. A Clefable Wish Teleport into Dragapult to heal it back up is always helpful. Cloyster can just clean. I know I'm skipping around the team a little bit, but a lot of people often forget what it does and then Cloyster just comes in and takes the lives. Vaporeon, I'm going back up now. Really nice with Flip Turn, although dual Wish Passers means that this team might just be really hard to break down because Vaporeon and Clefable are just keeping them healthy. Scyther, great. I don't know if it's worth tier 3, but it's pretty solid with boots now and with dual wing beat. 2 massive Scyther buffs, and it's pretty quick, actually, especially in Galar decks. It helps bridge down from Dragapult to the rest of the team. Steelix, Pokemon, but it's just one of the steals. It's like a good old reliable steal that a lot of people often just forget how good it is, which is always really nice. Xatu can bounce hazards back. A lot of people have Xatu and then they just don't bring it, but I feel like Xatu is just really helpful. Alolichu, obviously you would love Pincurchin with that, but if you don't get it, it's just kind of underwhelming. And then Throw, it's bulky and it can just do stuff if it wants to, if you need to bring it. And then lastly on this team that I didn't mention is Shiinotic, which is just a nice Spore user, but just a very well-rounded team up at number 4. Number 3, the Southampton Scizors. Rillaboom Hawlucha is incredible. I really like it. Obviously, a lot of stuff like Rillaboom with its new Grassy Glide is really strong, and then Hawlucha can kind of just come in and potentially just scare things off to potentially just get ready to clean. I really like Gardevoir, Strongmon, Scarfer. Trace is a really nice ability. It's really cool. I really like it. Seismitoad, a mon that's kind of gained a lot of traction this generation, possibly just because there's a lack of better water grounds. Is currently like the best one right now, but still a nice water absorb mon. Can put in work. Reboot, Libero. I don't know if it's worth tier 4 because it doesn't have 2 of Cinderace's best moves in Pyro Ball and Court Change, and its offenses aren't that great. Its speed is pretty okay though. Same with Alolan Persian. I feel like the same thing that I just said just applies, except now it also has Fur Coat, so it can take physical hits a little bit better. Tentacool, really cool. Better than Marini in my opinion. Can take hits pretty well with Eviolite and can rapid spin as well. Obviously you don't get as great a physical bulk, but the special bulk I think is much better. Jirachi. It's Jirachi. You're going to be flinching people all season. I vibe with that, even though I hate Jirachi. Flinching via Iron Head or Heart Stamp / Zen Headbutt, whatever you want, or going special is great, as well as just like Trick Scarf, also really nice. Can cripple walls that want to maybe come in on Jirachi. Very versatile mon as well, and U-turn for momentum as well. Haxorus, again, just a mon that threatens to clean. One of the better dragons in the format right now. Yeah. Rotom Fan, often underrated. It has Zapdos' typing and okay bulk, so when you combine those things, even if it's like the worst Rotom form or whatever, it's still really strong. And then Glaceon, it doesn't have the greatest base HP, but it can wish up the team. Freeze Dry's just a really nice move to have access to, so I can dig that pick. Number 2, this team, it's Urshifu Single Strike team. Urshifu, Togekiss, Slowking, Copperajah, Jolteon, Marowak, Arctovish, Corviknight, Gengar, Coalossal, and Bellsprout, or not Bellsprout, Bellossom. Urshifu plus Gengar, that's a draft that I sort of just helped someone plan around, and seeing that, yeah, I think that was the right direction to go in, just because Urshifu really struggles with fairy types. A, you have like one of the best fairy types on your team right now in Togekiss, but then B, Gengar also does great against fairies, same with Corviknight. So like Urshifu, they're going to kind of be forced to bringing in their fairy, which Gengar can sort of capitalize on as well. The only thing that can deal with Urshifu and Gengar really is Grimmsnarl, but there's only one. So that's really the only thing you got to worry about. And you don't even really have to worry about Grimmsnarl too much when you have something like a Corviknight there that can just come in as well. This team is amazing as well. Slowking with Regenerator, obviously really nice, can sort of switch in, switch out a lot. Copperajah, I don't know how necessary it was, but it's greatest mon. 69 in both defenses. It's kind of a little bit not too bulky, but it does have a massive base HP as well as attack, so it can put in work potentially in Trick Room if you wanted to set that up along with using the Slowking, and then Jolteon, or not Jolteon, Marowak or Copperajah can just put in work. Can you guys tell I'm tired? Arctivish, not the greatest mon, but tier 5, you get what you get. Colossal sets rocks, spins rocks away. Not too much more to say about it. Steam Engine could be cool if you can find a way to proc that safely. And then Bellossom is Bellossom. It can Quiver Dance, I guess, but it's not really doing too much. And then at number 1, process of elimination. Only lose the red Spark Vikavolts. Number 1, Cinderace. One of my favorite mons to use right now. Yeah, with the Libero ability, it does so much. Obviously, Bulk Up's a great set. Bulk Up 3 attacks, can do Court Change, can have U-Turn, Gunk Shot, Pyro Ball, High Jump Kick, Iron Head, Zen Headbutt, even more. You just gotta look for it. I've ran Electro Ball Cinderace once to try to kill a Pelipper, and it did work. Like, it can just do a lot. Primarina, great special mod to complement the Cinderace, and as well, maybe World Trapping, something that's like really tough to and really annoying to deal with. I know I've World Trapped a Ferrothorn before, because I just didn't have anything to do too much damage to it. Obviously, this team has a Cinderace, but Primarina can still do work like that. Mienshao, I've seen it bring Kill Leader, quick regenerator damage out with U-turn or high jump kick. Reckless can also do work. Dragalge hits really hard with adaptability, despite not having a great special attack, and still just hit incredibly hard. Miltank, thick fat is really nice. Obviously, it doesn't really need too much, but can also but with Scizor on the team as well. Thick fat's really nice. Driftblim, Rotom Frost, kind of just rounding out the necessary tiers. Obviously, Scizor, like I said before. Crocodile gained Scale Shot from the DLC. So now you really can't sack anything in front of a Crocodile anymore. Because, like, let's say they Scale Shot you, they get +1 speed, they get Moxie Kill, and now they're just rolling. Additionally, nice Rocker, can knock things off, can EQ. Always helpful. Beheeyem. I don't know what this thing does, I'm going to be perfectly honest, but it can do something, I guess. And then Eldegoss. Obviously, you need to know that you're not going to be doing any damage with Eldegoss. You're going to be switching in, putting things to sleep, leech seeding things, hitting things with bug-type attacks, hitting things with grass-type attacks if you're hitting them. Rapid spinning. It's a defensive piece. You can't really do anything offensively with Eldegoss, which is somewhat unfortunate, but obviously, you're getting what you pay for. But this is my power rankings. Teams very close together. I had a tough time making this list, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, Jesse504 out.